What's up, YouTube? I just made this drawing at the top. Um, Not long after my last video, obviously. Just want to skip to the conclusion at the end of this. Concepts equal sign with a slash in it, not to non-concepts. The equal sign with a slash in it is traditionally said to be saying that there's an inequality. That, in other words, if you put an equal sign, you're saying this equals this. If you put an equal sign with a slash in it, you're saying this cannot equal this, because it doesn't make mathematical sense. It doesn't make logical sense. So anyway, a brain, inside of a brain is concepts and parts. Parts to concepts, because there's an arrow there. Are they the same thing? This is really basic observations anybody could make, obviously. And so yeah, and then you can read this next part. Non-concepts to parts. Are they the same thing? There's a cue here to say the question is, are they the same thing? Answer, yes. So if non-concepts are parts and parts are non-concepts, there's a contention point here, because non-concepts are said to be the same thing. That's why it says equal sign. Said to be the same thing as the absence of concepts. And yeah, and concepts are said to be parts. So this goes in circles and results in contradictions. Concepts and parts, we've already proved, like, it's been proven in other videos of mine and other people's videos, books, etc., that concepts are parts, parts are concepts. So the way I see it, that to say that concepts are parts and that non-concepts are parts all at the same time results in a contradiction. This is why people's own definition of what contradiction means. So, and it says, there's a question, that's why it says Q, concepts equal parts equal non-concepts. So is it fair to say that concepts are parts when parts are non-concepts? The answer is yes, even when concepts cannot equal non-concepts. So you might ask the question, in reality, is it possible that concepts and non-concepts are both parts at the same time? Like, they're both the equivalent of parts at the same time. And so, like, if you go by logic of all of what's written here, yes. And every single statement here is considered common knowledge, except for the last statement where it says concepts concepts can be parts, while non-concepts can be parts, even though they can't be the same thing at the same time. Those are like two different huge statements put into one sentence, but if you go by each statement, they each carry a different meaning, like, very different meanings. So you might say, okay, well, either I'm right or I'm wrong, and I'm just redefining the words. But you can look up the multiple definitions of these words. Keep in mind that, some definitions of the word definition itself are different. There's multiple definitions of the word definition, first of all. Second of all, some definitions are used outside of textbooks or dictionaries for these words. If you're not careful with which ones, you're going to get confused really fast. But if you're like me, you won't get confused. I've never gotten confused by that sort of stuff when running this channel. So yeah, it's pretty obvious that, how do I say it? Concepts are parts. Parts are concepts. Non-concepts are parts. Parts are non-concepts. Those are two different statements, and then are they all the same thing as well? Now, going by logic of these things, yes. Going by real-world experiments for centuries, yes, they're all the same thing. So, do paradoxes exist beyond our imagination? Do they transcend our imagination? Does the supernatural exist? My answer is yes, because it's been scientifically proven that on the premises of these things, the supernatural could exist, and that things that defy logic can happen, things that make absolutely no sense can happen. So, yeah, I've said this for, years. So, yeah, there you have it. Here's proof that, just starting with the things that were in this human's brain, paradoxes exist in this human's brain. So, yeah. Well, that's about it for this video. Thanks for watching. Bye.